Critical wildfire danger today in the Panhandle, West Texas, Permian Basin, followed by severe thunderstorm potential tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night in North Texas, Northeast Texas, and the Arklatex. Let's talk about it in this Wednesday morning edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hey look, it's still me. Good morning, it's Wednesday, the 13th of March, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Boldy-in-Chief David Reimer. As the intro may have suggested, we'll be doing two weather videos today. This is the Wednesday morning edition. We'll be doing one this afternoon as well to update on the potential for severe thunderstorms tomorrow. But for today, we've got our hands full as it is with the potential for a significant and busy wildfire day across the Panhandle, West Texas, into the Permian Basin, the Borderland of far West Texas, down into the Big Bend region, extending into portions of Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley. Now, for today, the fire danger is certainly quite high, but there are differences compared to the outbreak we dealt with back in late February. A couple things we now know that we didn't know back then. One, fuels are very, very dry. They're much more flammable than we expected back on those two very active days, historic days, really. And that has been reflected in some of the messaging in terms of, extremely critical fire weather, wildfire outbreak, etc. from some other sources. Yes, that's possible, but I want to explain some differences between late February and today meteorologically. Today, what's similar to late February's historic outbreak, humidities are going to be 5 to 15%. Very low humidity. It is going to be drier than a firecracker for today. So yeah, things are going to burn if they start burning. But there are also some differences. Wind speeds on the two historic days back in late February for the fires in the Panhandle, we had wind gusts 60 to 70 miles an hour. We had a cold front coming in that evening of the second day that brought a northerly wind shift that pushed the large fires south. Neither of those are going to happen today. We are going to have wind gusts, 40, 45, maybe an occasional 50-mile-an-hour wind gust. So winds are going to be weaker today. Winds are going to be out of the southwest, generally south-southwest. And we're not going to have a wind shift tonight. We're not going to have that northerly wind shift tonight. Tomorrow, yes. Today, no. But conditions will be moderated tomorrow, fortunately. So, yes, today has the potential to be a dangerous, very active day in the wildfire department across the western third of Texas, but conditions, generally speaking, are not as severe as we dealt with late February. That being said, the late February outbreak was generally confined to the Texas Panhandle. Today, those conditions are over a much wider area, so we need to be vigilant, mindful, and just like late February, if you have smoke or you see a fire line approaching, get out. Even if you're not told to get out, that's your cue to probably evacuate. So know where you're going to go if a fire approaches your location. For tomorrow, the potential for high to very high wildfire danger will be confined to West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Borderland, and to portions of the Big Bend, Southwest Texas. Same story on Friday, although generally we're looking at moderating conditions tomorrow and on Friday. But again, the potential for dangerous wildfires today in the Texas Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, Southwest Texas, the Guadalupe Davis Mountains, low and high elevations, Trans-Pecos, the Borderland, far West Texas, the El Paso region. High to very high fire danger will also extend east, behind the dry line, Northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Concho Valley, even parts of the northern Edwards Plateau. So please be vigilant, be careful, and do your best not to create sparks that could ignite wildfires. All right, let's pop on over to the high-res rapid refresh model. This is going to be for today, tonight, and tomorrow. You can see we're going to be mostly sunny today across most of the state. Yeah, we'll have some clouds. Upper level clouds will increase tonight, western half of Texas, low level stratus, and a bit of fog for the eastern half of Texas tonight into Thursday morning. You can see we're expecting mostly cloudy skies across the eastern half of Texas tomorrow, though where we see some cloud breaks will be an important determining factor across portions of North Texas, the Arcla, Texas. That'll help to further destabilize the air mass. You can see we're expecting scattered thunderstorms to develop by the mid-afternoon hours, North Texas, Northeast Texas. We may have some showers tomorrow morning in Southeast Texas and Brazos Valley. Those showers in the morning would generally behave themselves, not really worried about severe thunderstorm potential with those. Tomorrow afternoon in North Texas, the Arklatex, Northeast Texas, and Eastern Texoma, that's a different story. The potential for scattered supercellular thunderstorms capable of severe weather, and those will generally move off to the east-northeast. You can see initially we may see activity fire very near the DFW Metroplex, but we may also see open warm sector development in northeast Texas by late tomorrow afternoon into early tomorrow evening, and some of those storms will likely be severe. You can see, generally speaking, that activity continuing into the evening hours. Let's take a look at the severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see we now have an upgrade compared to prior outlooks across a sliver of northeast Texas into southeastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, where several severe thunderstorms are now expected. That's a level 3 out of 5 risk. Higher the risk level, the more storms, more severe storms that are expected. Scattered severe thunderstorms possible across the eastern portions of Texoma, generally Gainesville on 82 all the way to Texarkana. What happens when you have a fire scanner on your desk and you forget to mute it. Y'all didn't hear it because the software using this is quite fancy. The potential for scattered severe thunderstorms all the way down to the DFW Metroplex to Waco points east. Corsicana, Fairfield, east towards Center, Canton, Terrell, Tyler, Lufkin, Marshall, Longview, up to Texarkana, Mount Pleasant, Paris. Scattered severe thunderstorms, and then that isolated severe weather risk down to Lufkin. That's what I should have said originally. Bryan College Station, Georgetown, back west towards Mineral Wells, and let's just say Henrietta. Now, as the prior animation showed, we're generally expecting the best chance for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening to be across the northeastern quarter of Texas. Northeast Texas, the Arklatex, eastern North Texas, but can't rule it out as far west as the DFW Metroplex. And if things slowed down a little and the dry line were to stay a little further west, which is certainly not unheard of, the potential would expand a bit further west as well. We'll keep an eye on that as we continue analyzing data today into tonight. The most intense thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening could produce destructive hail up to the size of baseballs, perhaps larger, localized damaging wind gusts 60 to 70 plus miles an hour, and the potential for a couple of tornadoes does exist. Welcome to spring, folks. It's hail season. For a more in-depth meteorological analysis, meteorologist Trey Greenwood will have a video out later this morning or early this afternoon going into the intricacies of forecasting such events and into more of the parameter space for those of you who are more weather-wingy inclined and want to know exactly what's going on in the setup to create tomorrow's severe weather risk. All right, here is the global forecast system. Let me actually update this. I never remember to update this one graphic. I think it, honestly, at this point, if we had a bingo card, you'd probably be able to put it on the bingo card. All right, now here's the GFS Friday through the weekend. You can see we're expecting generally scattered showers and thunderstorm chances off and on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and continuing into Monday. That's going to be thanks to an upper-level storm system sitting across the southwestern United States. It's called a Rex block. Essentially what that does is that system sits there. It's stuck there by the upper level pattern, but it's able to eject lobes of upper level lift or vorticity overhead, which allows for these small scale waves of lift to generate showers and thunderstorms constantly day after day after day, continuing for several days, which is good because we need rain. But at the same time, it makes it extremely difficult to forecast meteorologically and trying to get down into the specifics of when is it going to rain, where, blah, blah, blah. So here you can see the global forecast system. We are going to have a cool front generally bring northerly winds to the northern two-thirds of Texas. The highest chance of precipitation Friday and Saturday will be confined or in proximity to that cold front. Even though it's not really a super duper crashy the cold front, it'll still have a little bit more lift near it. You can see this model has another upper level wave arriving Sunday night, Monday morning with pretty good chances of precipitation across the western half of Texas. So generally speaking, I don't have a graphic for this because our software is being derpy this morning, but we're expecting 1 to 3 inches of rain the eastern third to the eastern southeastern half of Texas between now and 7 a.m. Monday. The potential for 1/10 to 1/2 inch of rain in places like the Edwards Plateau, the Concho Valley, the Big Country, the Permian Basin, down into Big Bend, especially with that wave Sunday into Monday. And we may even have some rain, maybe 1/10 of an inch across portions of West Texas. Now you can see this doesn't really bring too much to the Panhandle, unfortunately, but there will be some very light precipitation at times late this week through the weekend in places like the Panhandle, West Texas. You can see New Mexico, they're in for a snowstorm. Colorado, they're going to get walloped by a snowstorm beginning tonight, continuing over the next few days. But we also do note some strong to severe thunderstorm activity can't be ruled out tomorrow, Saturday, especially across portions of East Texas, extending back west through the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, the Hill Country, South Central Texas. But unlike did I say tomorrow? I meant Friday, Saturday. But unlike tomorrow's severe weather setup, the subsequent days are going to be more mesoscale dependent or dependent on the local small-scale parameters versus a larger-scale synoptically driven event, which just means we don't know yet. We're just going to have to see what happens tomorrow, and then that'll set the stage for Friday. Friday will set the stage for Saturday. The key message here is we're going to have unsettled weather continuing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday at least, with the opportunity for complexes of showers and thunderstorms across a decent portion of the state. But that does not mean it is going to rain every single moment of every single day in every single location for the next 5 days. It is going to be off and on, but unsettled will be the key word. Temperatures over the next 5 days. Well, here's today's high temperature forecast. It is going to be hot. We're looking at near triple-digit temperatures across the Rio Grande Plains, deep South Texas, Laredo 97. Wouldn't be surprising if someone down there hits 100. Generally, we're looking at upper 70s to upper 80s across the remainder of the state. So we continue into Thursday. You can see that cool front starting to push into the Panhandle with comparatively cooler temperatures, highs in the 60s and 50s. Otherwise, the rest of Texas, 70s, 80s to 90s by the time you get down into the Rio Grande Plains once again. Honestly, Rio Grande Plains, South Texas, down to the Rio Grande Valley almost, 80s and 90s. That'll be the gist through the remainder of the work week. It's going to be hot. Someone's going to probably hit near 100 degrees every single day down there. Otherwise, as we get into Friday, that cool front, along with precipitation chances, continue to progress further southeast. Highs 40s, 50s. It'll be a raw, chilly Friday across the Panhandle, West Texas, with north winds. We'll see highs in the 60s. Texoma, at least western half of North Texas, into the Big Country, the Concho Valley, down into the Permian Basin. 60s, Borderland, far West Texas, down towards Marfa and Alpine. And then 80s, 70s, and 90s, southeastern third of Texas. I am being somewhat backwards today, aren't I? Yeah, blame the dyslexia. Saturday, we'll see highs in the 50s, 60s, 70s across the state. A bit cooler for the southeastern half of Texas. Notice no more 90s showing up. And then on Sunday, no, not bad, really. It'll actually be a pretty decent day temperature-wise, even if we do have precipitation chances and cloud cover galore. 50s in the Panhandle, West Texas, higher terrain of the Guadalupe, Davis Mounds. 60s across the northwestern half of the state, down into the Borderland, far West Texas, with low to middle 70s, maybe upper 70s by the time you get into South Texas, otherwise low mid-70s, Southeast Texas, Golden Triangle, East Texas, down into the coastal plains, Edwards Plateau, and the Hill Country. All right, so again, a pretty busy upcoming 5 days across the state of Texas. Today, our focus will be on critical to dangerous fire weather conditions across the western third of Texas. We will be monitoring hotspot satellite data closely, and we'll share that data with you as quickly as we can. We will have storm chaser Blake Brown in the Texas Panhandle. He'll be there to document any wildfires and share ground truth updates as needed. Hopefully they will not be. I do want to welcome Blake, by the way, the Texas Storm Chasers team. You probably saw some of his content back in late February. We brought him on board officially yesterday, so a big welcome to Blake. As we get into tomorrow, focus will shift to severe thunderstorm potential across the northeastern quarter of Texas. We could have some pretty nasty hail out of that. We'll have a detailed meteorological analysis from meteorologist Trey Greenwood later this morning or early this afternoon for those of you who want to know more about that. And then for subsequent precip days, we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. The potential for some heavy rainfall, can't rule out localized flooding, especially the eastern third to eastern half of Texas through the weekend. And then, in all likelihood, unless something absolutely haywire goes on fire weather-wise this afternoon, which hopefully it will not, we will be doing a second video this afternoon that'll release around dinner time to detail the latest severe weather outlook for tomorrow, along with the latest timing and specific threat hazards. As always, you can get your local weather forecast in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. And we have interactive weather radar when necessary, live severe weather coverage, storm chasing video in there as well. As always, you can visit us on the web, texasstormchasers.com. And for the latest Texas weather forecast, be sure to hit that subscribe button here on the Texas Weather Center YouTube. All right, we'll chat with y'all later on today. Have a good morning. Have a good day. See you later. God bless.